I'm going to sound like a really old man now, but I'm going to give you my dad's advice, because the way my dad puts it is that America is the land of opportunity for immigrants. When you come to this country with nothing from a third world country, you're going to do whatever it takes to succeed. You're not going to blow your money, because that's one of the dumbest things that you can do, because you sacrificed your family, your life, your livelihood, your friends, your culture, everything that you know for a chance to succeed. But for Americans who are born and raised, and maybe your parents are born and raised here, or your grandparents are born and raised here, people who kind of get comfortable in this country, in the land of opportunity, America is the land of spending with credit cards, because you have the opportunity to build wealth, but you also have the ability to buy whatever you want, because America, unlike many other parts of the world, in fact, unlike everywhere else in the world, America has the most ability to qualify for credit and debt. In fact, go anywhere else in the world. You can go to great first world countries in Europe, and even there, people are not going into credit card debt and spending money that they don't have the way that they do here in America, because in America, we believe in credit. We believe in debt. We believe in the ability to buy things even if you're not ready to afford it yet, because that is the American dream for some people. Now, if you live that American dream to spend the way that everybody else does, guess what? You're never going to have the wealth that some few people have. And now you can say, well, that's not fair. We were never taught to not spend our money. It is completely normal to go into debt to buy a car. It's completely normal to finance my iPhone. It's completely normal to have credit card debt. Yeah, it's normal, but it's not right. Just because something's normal does not mean it's the right thing that you should do. And so the first step, if you ever want to have a chance to put money aside, to ever build wealth, is you can't keep doing what everybody else does. I call this show The Minority Mindset, because if you keep doing what the majority of people do, you're going to end up like the majority of people, and financially, that means broke. And I don't say this as just words. I say this statistically, because the majority of Americans are broke. The majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. The majority of Americans have no money put aside for savings. The majority of Americans have nowhere near enough money put aside to start building their wealth. Now, the simplest thing that you can do is just stop doing what everybody else does, meaning stop spending your money the way that everybody else does. Is this easy? No. That means you might have to downgrade from the BMW to the Toyota Corolla. And that can be one of the most painful things to do, because when you drive the BMW, everybody goes, ooh, nice car. When you drive the Toyota Corolla, everyone goes, oh, that's your car? And now you got to go from the ooh to the oh, and that's not an easy thing for a lot of people to do. But this is where you're going to have to make that decision for yourself. What do you want? What is more important to you? Do you want the car, or do you want the wealth? Do you want the looks, or do you want the generational wealth? And this is now going to be your decision, because now wealth starts here with your mindset before it hits your bank account. And when it starts in your mindset is what's going to control your spending. Your mindset is what's going to control what you do with the money that you get. Your mindset is going to control how you swipe your credit card. And this is where right now you got to get serious, where what is it that you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Do you want to look like you made it, or do you want to actually make it? And the reality, the interesting thing, is the majority of people who look like they made it haven't actually made it. The majority of people who have the nice stuff, the fancy cars, the fancy vacations, and that are posting all over social media haven't actually done it. They're buying it with credit. They're buying it with debt. They don't have the investments. But if you really want to have it, meaning now you can go on whatever vacations you want, you can drive whatever car you want, you can buy whatever stuff you want without having to worry about the price, that means you're going to have to actually afford it first, which means you're going to have to make the sacrifice first. And making that sacrifice is that tough part. But this isn't rocket science on how do you make a sacrifice. This is a mindset game of how do you make that sacrifice. This is a mindset game of how do I change what I do. And that means you got to stop doing what everybody else does. And that is difficult, because as soon as you make that switch, people are going to look at you as if you're the one that lost your mind, as if you're the one that's going crazy. And this is where you might have to outgrow your friends and your circle. And that's difficult, because now you become the outsider, and it becomes lonely, because now everyone else is going to the club. Everybody else is going to party in Cancun. Everybody else loves blowing money on new cars. And when you're not doing it, now you're the outsider. Now, not only are you the one that's getting made fun of, but now you got to start to feel lonely because you're trying to do something different. But this is where you got to expand your circle. You can't constantly be around the toxic environment mentally, and you also can't be around the toxic environment financially. And this is where right now you got to figure out, how are you going to get there? And you have to now put yourself in an environment mentally that's going to allow you to grow. The second thing that you need to do, now we get into the practicals. The first part is the mindset. The second thing that you need to do is you got to stop the financial bleeding. Right now, you got to pay down your high interest debts. If you have credit card debt, you have to pay that down ASAP. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.